I used to think that healing meant forgetting, but now I know it means remembering without drowning, revisiting the ruins without needing to rebuild them. Welcome back, everyone. I'm so happy to be here, and I really hope that you've enjoyed listening so far. So all of my solo podcasts are going to be started with a quote that I have found very relevant for me, meaningful, or has made an impact recently in my life. Today, this one is from R.M. Drake. I used to think that healing meant forgetting, but now I know it means remembering without drowning, revisiting the ruins without needing to rebuild them, walking past the wreckage and still choosing to plant something beautiful where the fire once was. If you're anything like me, I was very proud of how I moved through life with a forgiving, forgetful heart. I was very proud of how I worked hard and moved through my grief and trauma with a growth mindset, and often coined the phrase post-traumatic growth. But I'm going to tell you a secret that's not really a secret. I just hope there's somebody who needs to hear this today, because it took me a really long time to actually get it. Forgetting things or pushing them down does not mean that they go away. It is proven time and time again that what you don't acknowledge, that you don't deal with, lives in our bodies forever until we choose to acknowledge it. If you can't talk about something without it making you extremely sad, angry, anxious, or even makes you dissociate, that's a really clear sign that you haven't actually healed from it, that there's a lot more work to do. And I want to remind you that although what happened to any of us is never our fault, if we want to truly live free lives, ones that we're not letting our pain hurt the people around us that we love, it is our responsibility to look into our own shadows and pull out the things that are still there, that are still painful. And sometimes we're not sure what they are. And this is where I want to talk to you about what has really helped me. I've done a lot of therapy work, and there have been times where in therapy I don't really have anything to say, or sometimes I'll talk about things and I couldn't cry, or someone would ask me where I felt something in my body, but there was no feeling. There's no feeling at all. There was just a remembering, just a reel, like a highlight reel, but of the SHIT of stuff that I was trying to forget. Okay? So you can imagine if I have these traumas that I've been through, but I cannot feel them, how am I supposed to actually experience joy, real connection, love, if I can't even connect the words of pain that I'm speaking about with how something feels inside of me? I started doing breath work and meditation around 7 years ago. And in those quiet spaces, often when you have things that you're running from, it is very uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to hear your own thoughts out loud when you're not drowning them with music or busyness or work. It is uncomfortable to sit there and think, oh my God, what time is it? What Like, how much longer do I have to sit there by myself, or whatever way you're doing meditation? It kind of feels pointless. If you were taught to believe in very extreme religion, then you might think it's conjuring evil, which is something that I was taught to believe. So I'm going to take a pause there and say, if really quick you were taught that in religion, I would like you to remember that God in the Bible said that He is within all of us. So if you sit with yourself, how could you not be getting closer to yourself and to God? When we sit in the quiet, the things in the dark come to light. When we sit in the quiet with ourselves, the things in the dark can no longer remain hidden. When they say that the truth will set you free, I think that means when you face your shadow, you can finally be free. It's not about the truth of proving to anyone else. It's about getting to the inside of what is keeping you from being healed. When you think about a lighthouse, I tend to think of God, in whatever way that you want to call God, as one, bigger than we could ever imagine, have no clue, just know it's there. But two, that even if I was so far away from a lighthouse that I couldn't see it was actually a lighthouse, I could see the light of it, right? You can still see the light shining from a lighthouse, even if you can't see the lighthouse. To me, that is what God is like. No clue what it looks like because we are so far away in this human experience, but I can see the light. I can see that there is something out there that wants to help me, that wants to help you. Whether or not this is our only life, I'm really not sure. This is the life we have now. Whatever cards were handed to you, whatever happened to you, again, is not your fault. You may never get an acknowledgement of your pain. You may never get an I'm sorry. But you can do the work to heal what hurt you. If you're listening today, I have a feeling you're someone who really cares about how they make other people feel, who cares about the legacy that they leave, who cares about making a difference in the world. And I want to remind you that you matter just as much as everyone else in your life. I'm encouraging you today to take a little peek and step into your shadow, into your pain that you have tried to keep buried. Because women who live in chronic stress, women who live with the pain still in their bodies are, and I forgot the percentage and I didn't have this pulled up, are a huge percentage higher to develop autoimmune diseases, to have early heart attacks, not to mention not experience true love and joy, than if they were able to face their pain. Going through the healing process is probably as difficult as the PTSD that I experienced when I lost my daughter and I almost lost my own life. Those 6 months after, I lived with such intense full body pain that I will be very honest, and I have said this a lot, you'll hear me say it 1,000 times. I had to get through each minute, and then I had to get through each hour, and then I had to get through each day to stay alive. That was just to stay alive, okay? That is what facing your shadow is like. At first, it is going to hurt so bad to let yourself feel the things that your body didn't want to let you feel yet because it knew you couldn't handle it. But when you allow yourself to feel it, then all of a sudden, the pain doesn't last so long. All of a sudden, the things that would ruminate in your mind over and over and over start to go away. And then you find other things that you didn't know were there. And you see the little loop that you were thinking about and realize, oh, there was more there that I didn't know about. And then you feel that. And it feels really painful. And then the pain becomes less and less. Everything that you allow to come through starts as very painful. But you know what happens afterwards? It goes away and it does not come back. Sure, there may be pieces of it left that you have not felt yet, but you can't get to any of the other hundreds or thousands or however many pieces of your own trauma until you start with the first one that comes up. And today, I want to give you a tiny bit of inspiration for how you can deal with yours. I would like for you to think of the easiest thing that comes up to think of that has been an issue in your life lately. It could be a fight with a spouse. It could be a disagreement with someone that you work with. It could be that you feel like you're having issues with a friend that's been a friend a really long time. Or it could be something came up from your childhood that you didn't even know was there. The first thing that comes to your mind. I want to ask you, when this thought comes up, what do you say to yourself? Are you in your mind immediately going to, oh, that feels bad? Or are you saying something like, yeah, well, I should get over it, or yeah, well, or shaming yourself in some way, and so you're adding to that pain that's there? What are you doing with it when that loop comes? I'm going to ask you, whatever that answer is, to stop where you feel and hear that pain. And instead of shaming yourself or sticking up for the other person in your own head, being against yourself in some way, I would like you to sit and take a breath and just breathe into it. And when you do that, if the feeling becomes more intense, I would like you to take another breath. Because sometimes our body is trying to tell us something and we just brush it away, push it away, shame it away, instead of letting it be. And if when you take a breath or two, if it feels a little more intense, even a little bit, that is a sign to stop right where you are and breathe into it. You can also tell yourself, it is safe to feel this. It's okay. Instead of shaming your own brain and body for having feelings, you say, it's okay. You're safe. It's okay. It's okay. And then if the thing comes, continue to breathe through it. And the next step is, I want you to pay attention to your body and ask yourself, if this feeling is getting more intense, where am I feeling it in my body? And if you can tell where you're feeling it, that's a great sign, because that means that you're still connected to yourself. And if you can't even put a finger on where you can feel that in your body, then it's even more important to sit in the quiet, because that means you are very disconnected from yourself. You see, our brain has these habits that is trying to protect us from the things that it thinks that we cannot handle. It's also doing a really great job of protecting us in our day-to-day life, of letting us know, hey, don't go there, that might not be safe. Hey, don't jump off that building, that's not going to be safe. Has some really valid points in how it's trying to keep us safe, right? Really valid. It also has memories of the past. It doesn't have memories of the future. It has memories of the past, so it thinks, oh, I have to keep her safe right now in this moment. This is extreme danger. And when you're starting to feel pain, it's thinking, oh, shit, I have to keep her safe in this moment. I have to protect her. But what your brain doesn't know is that when you keep that in there and you don't let yourself feel it, it does not go away. Your brain does not know that. But now we know that. So you meaning us, all of us, have a tool that can help you acknowledge and recognize when there is something that needs to be felt in your body. Because when you feel, when you're safe to feel, you get to heal. When you let yourself feel the pain, you get to heal. Yes, it takes feeling it to let it go. It truly takes feeling it to let it go. But you're worth doing that. You are worth sitting and breathing and uncovering what is uncomfortable, what is ugly, what hurts. You are worth feeling those things so that you can let them go and feel on the other side the joy and love and peace from there. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of acknowledgement. And if you can't feel it in your body yet, great. Now you know where to start. You start with the awareness of asking yourself, is there something wrong? Or when you have gone through an argument or an issue, asking yourself, what is really the problem? What am I still upset about? And then sitting and listening, not answering yourself. Sitting and breathing. Our brains are quick. We come up with, I don't remember, it's almost like 1,000 or 10,000 or something along those lines, thoughts that we think a day. We very rarely intentionally try to feel what is wrong. If you can sit with yourself, let the air come in and out of your body, which we literally need to survive, you get the release eventually, and you get the healing of letting things go. So we're going to do one thing today. We're going to try to be aware of one thing that was in there, the first thing that comes to your mind that is an issue or something that you're holding on to. And then we're going to sit and give it space of breathing. That's all we're going to do. We're going to breathe it. And then the third thing is we're going to see if we can feel it in our body. And if you can't, you know to keep breathing and just say, it's okay. It is safe. It is safe. I know that I'll feel it eventually. It would be wonderful too if you could tell your body, I am ready to connect to you again. I'm ready to hear what you have to tell me. I'm going to make it safe enough for you to feel the things that you didn't want to feel because I am ready to move on. And I know I can't move on without feeling it. I know I can't. I want to move on. I want to let this stuff go. But I can't feel it yet. And I'd literally like to feel it in my body. And then you just keep trying. In the next episode, I'm going to talk about our tapping and then how that can help you move some of this energy throughout your body. But for now, we're going to acknowledge and we'll give ourselves space just to be in it and breathe. I love you all. You deserve to feel and heal. And it's never too late.